the Lord Mayor of London, the 632nd holder of an office so ancient that at least one of his predecessors has become the hero of a fairy story. The leader of a city so old that it was probably a thriving center of commerce before the Roman Empire. So old that it has no charter, only royal confirmations of rights and customs that it enjoyed before England had a king or charters had been thought of. Like so much of the city's pageantry, the Lord Mayor's show has simply grown. But this city of London is no museum piece dreaming of past glories, of the days when it taught all England the pattern of local government, indeed of Parliament itself. For this is a modern city, a progressive city, that still sets a pattern for others to emulate. It is in the Guildhall that the new Lord Mayor's real duties begin, with the first meeting of the Court of Common Council. He is their head and chairman. But the actual business of the meeting is conducted in his name by the town clerk.
Order, order. Will honourable members kindly rise in their places?
Domine, dirige, nos.
O Lord, direct us, the traditional prayer and motto of the city.
Item number 1 upon the agenda, that the minutes of the last court, which have been printed and circulated, are correctly recorded. To agree, on the contrary, the Lord Mayor declares the motion to be carried.
Members of this honourable court.
The pomp and circumstance of this honourable court is only one side of the picture. Behind the pageantry is an equally long-established tradition, that of a highly efficient and business-like body of men whose collective experience it would be hard to equal. The blue-gowned common councilmen, led by the chief commoner, are elected for 1 year. The red-gowned aldermen are elected for life by the ward voters, and not, as in other cities, by the council. They are justices of the peace by virtue of their office, the only ones in Britain who can sit individually, and they also attend at the Central Criminal Court. They meet as a court of aldermen for various municipal purposes, and each presides at meetings within his own ward. And it's these three elements, common councilmen, aldermen, and the Lord Mayor himself, which embody the government of the city. A great city. And yet, within the vast area of Greater London, the city itself is only a fraction more than 1 square mile, a compact nerve centre whose activity is felt all over Britain and all over the world. There can be few human enterprises anywhere that have no links, either direct or remote, with the daily work of the 500,000 men and women who stream every morning into that historic square mile. But at night, no other city in the world is so incredibly transformed. The 500,000 become a bare 5,000. The morning and back to business. The business, for example, of the 30 or more committees which run the day-to-day work of the corporation.
The chairman of the Bridge House Estates Committee.
My Lord Mayor, I'm obliged to the honourable member for having given me notice of this question. Traffic movement over Tower Bridge is heavy.
Roman London owed its importance to the fact that its site was the lowest practicable crossing of the Thames. So the guardianship of London's bridge is perhaps the most ancient of the city's functions. Until the 18th century, there was only London Bridge. But London Bridge has now been joined by 3 other road bridges, Tower Bridge being the newest. All 4 are owned and maintained by the corporation and financed by the Bridge House Estates Fund.
The Lord Mayor declares the reports of the Bridge House Estates Committee to be carried. Item number 23. These are reports of the Improvements and Town Planning Committee.
My Lord Mayor, in presenting to this Honourable Court...
Twice in 3 centuries, the city has been wholly or partially destroyed. The Great Fire of 1666 wiped out 4/5 of the gabled tangle that made up the medieval walled city. Tragedy offered opportunity. The great Sir Christopher Wren drew up a plan that would have given London wide, straight streets and a Renaissance atmosphere. But in the distress and chaos that followed the fire, his plan was stillborn, and London's maze of timber and plaster was merely replaced by another maze, this time of stone and brick, for at least one lesson had been learned from the great disaster. All the same, Wren did leave his mark on the city, beautiful churches, some of which happily survived the second destruction, the Blitz of World War II. Wren's great St. Paul's Cathedral looked down on acres of utter devastation. This time, however, the city would not repeat the mistakes that frustrated Wren after the Great Fire. By 1947, the corporation's reconstruction plan was ready and was carried out as fast as national necessity would allow. The colored areas in this map are scheduled for complete rebuilding. The colors represent the phases of short and long-term schemes up to the year 2005. So the city, while treasuring its own history, looks actively to its future. First priority goes to spacious and efficient office blocks, designed for the pace and complexity of modern economic life. But the city is no longer content to hand over the night hours to the policemen, the caretakers, and the cats. The handsome Golden Lane housing estate is one of the first achievements of a plan which, without altering the city's basic character, will double or treble its resident population. And the climax of this plan is a project that has captured the public imagination, the Barbican redevelopment, shown in this model. This £20 million scheme envisages a complete community of more than 2,000 flats, with elevated pedestrian walkways, green spaces, a lake, theatre, art gallery, shops, garage space, and everything that makes for civilized living. A residential oasis within the city.
The Chairman of the Epping Forest Committee.
My Lord Mayor, in reply to the Honourable Member's question, I would inform this Honourable Court...
Few people realize that the corporation owns and maintains land outside its own boundaries, which total more than 10 times the area of the city itself. The 6,000 acres of Epping Forest are the largest item on the list. Of the half-dozen other open spaces which the city holds in trust for the nation, Burnham Beeches is the best known. None of these open spaces is a charge on the city rates. They were acquired and are maintained out of the city's cash, a fund which comes from corporate lands, market tolls, and other incidental income. Sometimes, for the public good, the city crosses its own frontiers. In other spheres, it may seem strangely jealous of those frontiers. For example, the City of London police form an island inside the square mile, working with, but not under, Scotland Yard. But there's a reason for this independence. Historically, the watch has been organized by the citizens ever since London was London. And practically, the city police are a unique body because the city itself is unique. For example, in the tremendous wealth left almost unguarded at night, and in the specialized commerce of certain areas. The City of London School for Girls is one of the 4 famous schools maintained out of the city's cash. It will have a brand new home in the Barbican redevelopment. Although the corporation runs these schools and has seats on the boards of many others, it is not, in law, a local education authority. The Guildhall School of Music and Drama is also one of the 4. Next door to both of these is another on the list, an old established boys' public school, the City of London School. The 4th is the City of London Freemen's School at Ashton. So, in education too, the city plays a leading role in supplementing the state educational system. The city's help is not only given to people at the start of their lives. Isledon House, an old people's home in the borough of Islington, was acquired by the corporation in 1953. A front door for each flat and a pleasant garden just beyond the back door helped to give the old people both privacy and companionship.
The Chairman of the Port and City of London Health Committee.
My Lord Mayor, the report submitted by my committee to this honourable court
The city's health duties, too, extend far beyond the city borders. For the Port of London stretches nearly 70 miles from Teddington to the sea, and its health is the responsibility of the city. The Hygeia, lying at Gravesend, provides for thousands of sailors every year their first contact with both city and port. For it is the Port Health Authority's duty to see that incoming vessels do not bring infectious diseases to London. A launch takes the city's boarding medical officer from the Hygeia to visit a newly arrived merchantman. It is the master's duty to present a declaration of health, certifying that there has been no case of infectious sickness during the voyage, or if there has, giving details. Discovered or suspected cases can be promptly removed to hospital in an ambulance launch. The boarding medical officer's job is no mere formality. In fact, it's full-time work for many doctors and inspectors. By their round-the-clock vigilance, they too are fulfilling the city's ancient function of national watchdog in the public interest. There are many other city watchdogs at work in the port, for it is not only people who disembark at London. 6.5 million tons of food a year of every possible kind are imported into London. And it's the city's job to see that only what is fit for human consumption is allowed through. London probably began life as a trading post, so the markets of London are as old as London itself. Smithfield, a renowned marketplace since the 12th century, concentrates on meat, poultry, and provisions. Billingsgate is the oldest market belonging to the corporation. It dates at least from the 10th century. Spitalfields in Stepney is the most recently acquired of the corporation's markets. The city bought it in 1901. Fruit and vegetables are its speciality. To all these markets, thousands of tons of goods are brought every day. And for the whole operation, the city is landlord as well as watchdog. The city's achievements in the health sphere would fill a library. Just one more example. It was the first city to become a smokeless zone in the country by Act of Common Council, before Parliament had passed a law on the subject. Watching the corporation on ceremonial occasions, few would guess at the endless day-to-day work its job of running the city involves. But even the ceremony is often of national significance. When foreign heads of state come to Britain as guests of the sovereign, a visit to the city is a regular feature of the programme. On such occasions, the Lord Mayor may be said to represent the citizens and local authorities of the whole of Britain. The city has always played this dual role, conscious that whatever it does affects the nation. And this is true not merely of ceremony, but also of its daily decisions. 1,001 aspects of the city's life, problems that stay within its boundaries, and others that reach far beyond, all coming back to these men in the Guildhall.
My Lord Mayor, I have great pleasure in seconding the resolution.
To agree? On the contrary, the Lord Mayor declares the motion to be carried unanimously. And that is all the business, my Lord Mayor, of which I am aware.
Older than kings, older than written history, with roots older than Parliament, and yet always looking to tomorrow. This is the city, the ageless square mile, governed and led by the Mayor, Aldermen and Commons of the City of London in Common Council assembled.